Sir.
Evening, sir. License and registration. Go ahead and step out for me.
Step out? Officer, what's this about?
Let's see that license. You live around here?
I do. A couple blocks over on Briarwood.
Uh-huh. What's got you cruising the neighborhood this late?
I'm coming home from the courthouse. Long day.
Yeah? Step on.
Racist cop stops black woman AT night. Didn't know she was a federal judge. It's 11:47 at night. A black woman is driving home from work. She's 2 blocks from her house. Then she sees the lights, blue and red. A police car pulls her over. License and registration, the officer says. Step out of the vehicle. Okay, she says calmly. Can I ask why you pulled me over? I'll ask the questions here, he snaps back. You live around here. Yes, I do, she answers, just a few blocks away. Sure, he says. He doesn't believe her. What are you really doing in this neighborhood at this hour? I'm just driving home from work, she explains. Work this late? What kind of work? His voice drips with doubt. I work at the courthouse downtown, she says. He laughs. Right, janitor, security guard. Look, I don't have time for games. Hands on the hood, now. Officer Martinez had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 72 hours, his badge would be gone. His department would face a federal investigation. His own words would be played in a courtroom. The woman he thought was just another suspicious person was Judge Diane Williams. She was a federal circuit court judge with 18 years on the bench. She had handled over 2,000 cases about police misconduct and civil rights. Her legal opinions had been used in Supreme Court cases, and the camera in his police car was recording everything, every word, every assumption, every violation of her rights, rights she had spent 20 years defending. Before I continue, let me ask you, have you ever been treated unfairly by someone with power over you? Drop your answer in the comments. But Officer Martinez had no idea who he was talking to. Judge Diane Michelle Williams was 52 years old. She was a federal circuit court judge for the 3rd District Court of Appeals. She went to Yale Law School. She graduated at the top of her class in 1998. After that, she worked as a federal prosecutor for 8 years. She focused on civil rights cases. In 2007, President Bush appointed her to the federal bench. She had been a judge for 18 years. She wrote 47 published legal opinions about Fourth Amendment rights. Those are your rights against unlawful searches and stops. She literally wrote the rules on illegal traffic stops. In 2015, she made a major ruling in a case called Henderson versus State Police. That ruling set the standards for what counts as racial profiling. She taught law at Georgetown University for 5 years. She was an expert witness in 3 Supreme Court cases. Judge Williams lived in the nice Riverside neighborhood. She had lived there for 12 years. That night, she was coming home from work. She had just finished a 14-hour day reviewing emergency court cases. She was driving her personal car, a 2023 Mercedes. She was thinking about her daughter's college applications. She just wanted to get home to her family. Now here's what happened next. Officer Derek Martinez had a reputation at the Riverside Police Station, and it wasn't good. Derek Martinez was 34 years old. He had worked for the police department for 9 years. He was still just a patrol officer. He had never been promoted. He worked the night shift in the rich Riverside neighborhood. Internal Affairs is the department that investigates bad cops. They had received 11 complaints against Martinez in the past 4 years. Every single complaint came from a person of color. Every single one was dismissed. The reason? Not enough evidence. Let me give you some examples. In March 2022, Martinez stopped a Latino teenager. He said the kid looked suspicious. The teenager was delivering pizzas. His family filed a complaint. Nothing happened. In July 2023, Martinez confronted a black family having a picnic in the park. He demanded their IDs. He said they didn't belong there. They owned a home 3 blocks away. They filed a complaint. Nothing happened. In January 2024, Martinez pulled over a black businessman. It was at the same spot where he would later stop Judge Williams. Martinez claimed the man didn't use his turn signal. The camera showed he did use it. Another complaint was filed. Again, nothing happened. The other officers had a nickname for Martinez. They called him Derek the Detective. It was a joke. He was always investigating people of color. 2 senior officers had told their bosses about him. The police union protected him. He never got in trouble. He never took training on treating people fairly. But on October 15, 2024, at 11:47 p.m., Derek Martinez made a stop that would end his career, because this time his victim could fight back. Let me know in the comments what you think should happen to cops like this. It was Tuesday, October 15, 2024. The time was 11:47 p.m. The place was the corner of Riverside Drive and Oak Street. This was a nice neighborhood. The streets had big trees. The lights were bright. Traffic cameras watched the intersection. Judge Williams lived 2 blocks away. Homes in this area co. It's an over $800,000. Crime was very low. It was a quiet fall night. The temperature was 58 degrees. Not many cars were out. Most people were home. The street had fancy old-style lamps. Nearby businesses had security cameras. Houses had their own cameras too. Judge Williams had just left the courthouse downtown. The drive usually took 20 minutes. She was driving carefully. She was going exactly 35 miles per hour. That was the speed limit. She was listening to an audiobook. She was thinking about work. She was also thinking about her daughter applying to college. At 11:47 p.m., Martinez's police car pulled behind her. She hadn't broken any traffic laws. Martinez checked her license plate. It was clean, no problems. At 11:48 p.m., Martinez turned on his lights. Judge Williams put on her turn signal. She pulled over calmly. She turned off her car. She put her hands on the steering wheel where he could see them. She knew the right thing to do. She took a deep breath. This had happened to her before. Martinez walked to her window. He shined his flashlight right in her face. His hand rested on his gun. He looked aggressive from the start. Judge Williams rolled down her window. She knew exactly what was happening. She had seen it in her courtroom many times, but she also knew something Martinez didn't. Every word he said could be used against him, and this time there would be consequences. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. License and registration, Martinez said. Step out of the vehicle. Judge Williams stayed calm. Okay, can I ask why you pulled me over? I'll ask the questions here, Martinez said. He didn't give her a reason. That was his first mistake. The law says officers must tell you why they stopped you. You live around here? He asked. Yes, I do, she said, just a few blocks away. Martinez didn't believe her. Sure. What are you really doing in this neighborhood at this hour? He was suggesting she didn't belong. Judge Williams stayed calm. I'm just driving home from work. Work this late? Martinez laughed. What kind of work? I work at the courthouse downtown, she said. Martinez laughed again. Right, janitor, security guard, he paused. Sure you are. Look, I don't have time for games. She tried again. I'm a judge. Yeah, traffic court. He didn't believe her. Look, hands on the hood, now. Judge Williams knew her rights. Officer, I haven't broken any traffic laws. You haven't told me why you stopped me. Martinez got angry. Don't tell me how to do my job. Out of the car, now. Am I being detained? She asked. What is the legal reason for this stop? Now Martinez was really mad. You're being detained for suspicious behavior, for not following my orders. Judge Williams stayed in her car. This stop is unlawful. I'm not resisting. I'm stating my rights under the Fourth Amendment. Your rights, Martinez yelled. You want to talk about rights? Step out or I'll remove you. I need your badge number, Judge Williams said, and your supervisor's contact information. 3 people were watching now. Mrs. Patterson lived 2 houses down. She was 67 years old. She started recording on her phone. Marcus Chen was 41. He was walking his dog across the street. He stopped and pulled out his phone. Rebecca Torres was 29. She was driving by. She slowed down. She recognized Judge Williams. She started recording too. Then she called 911. Martinez reached for the car door handle. Judge Williams kept her hands where he could see them. Her voice stayed steady. I am not resisting. I will follow lawful orders only. This stop is unlawful. That's it, Martinez said. You're under arrest for obstruction. He opened the door. He reached for her arm. You're making a serious mistake, Officer Martinez, Judge Williams said. She had read his name tag. Wait until you hear what happened next. At 11:52 p.m., another police car arrived. Sergeant Linda Morrison got out. She had been a cop for 15 years. Someone had called 911 about the stop. Morrison actually knew Judge Williams from work. She walked over and saw Judge Williams. Her face showed shock. "Derek, what's going on here?" Morrison asked. Then she recognized the woman in the car. "Your Honor." Martinez looked confused. "You know her." "Officer Martinez," Morrison said firmly. "Step away from the vehicle immediately." "I pulled her over for," Martinez started to explain. Morrison cut him off. "Step back now." Judge Williams got out of her car calmly. She spoke to Sergeant Morrison like the professional she was. "Sergeant Morrison, this officer stopped me without any reason. He never told me why. He ordered me out of my car without legal cause. He made assumptions about why I was in my own neighborhood, and he was about to arrest me for stating my constitutional rights." Martinez finally started to understand. "Wait, you're actually a judge." "I'm Federal Circuit Court Judge Diane Williams," she said. "I live 2 blocks from here. I've lived here for 12 years, and I've handled more illegal stop cases than I can count." Martinez tried to fix it. "Look, it was just a routine." Judge Williams stopped him. "There was nothing routine about this stop, Officer Martinez." "I was just doing my job," he said. "Your job does not include racial profiling," she said. Martinez got defensive. "I never said anything about race." "You didn't have to," Judge Williams said. "You asked what I was really doing in this neighborhood. You asked if I really lived here. The camera recorded everything." Mrs. Patterson walked over. "Officer, I've been Judge Williams's neighbor for 12 years. I saw the whole thing. You had no reason to stop her." Marcus Chen was still recording. "I got it all on video, Your Honor, every word." Rebecca Torres was still on the phone with 911. "Yes, I'm watching what looks like a racist traffic stop of Federal Judge Diane Williams." The evidence was everywhere. Martinez's camera had full video and audio. 3 people had cell phone videos from different angles. Judge Williams's Mercedes had its own cameras inside and outside. The traffic cameras at the intersection caught everything. The 911 call was recorded. Sergeant Morrison's body camera was now recording too. Martinez's face went pale. He finally understood how much trouble he was in. "Your Honor, I didn't mean." He tried to fix it. "If I came across the wrong way." "You came across exactly as you intended, officer," Judge Williams said. Martinez turned to Morrison. "Sarge, I was just," she matched a description. "What description, Officer Martinez?" Morrison asked. She called the radio dispatcher. "Dispatch, did we have any alerts tonight?" The dispatcher answered over the radio. "Negative, Sergeant, no active alerts." Martinez was stammering now. There was suspicious behavior." "I signaled," Judge Williams said. "I was going the speed limit. My car is registered. What specifically was suspicious?" "Silence." Sergeant Morrison took control. "Officer Martinez, return to your vehicle." "Your Honor, I am deeply sorry," Morrison said. "This stop should never have happened. I'm calling Lieutenant Hayes now. This will be fully investigated." "It will indeed, Sergeant," Judge Williams said. "And I will be filing a formal complaint with Internal Affairs, the Police Review Board, and the Department of Justice." As Martinez walked back to his car, he muttered something. Multiple microphones caught it. "This is nonsense. She's playing the race card." Mrs. Patterson spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "We all heard that, officer." Marcus Chen added, still recording. By 11:58 p.m., Officer Derek Martinez's career was over. He just didn't know it yet. Type justice in the comments if you think he got what he deserved. 12:14 a.m. Lieutenant Marcus Hayes arrived. He had been a cop for 24 years. He ran the Riverside Station. He had worked with Judge Williams on community projects before. He immediately separated Martinez and Judge Williams. He talked to Sergeant Morrison first. She explained what happened. Lieutenant Hayes went to Martinez's police car. He watched the camera footage right there. You could see the anger on his face as he watched. He talked to all 3 witnesses. He got their statements. He checked the dispatch records. There were no alerts, no reports of suspicious activity. He looked at Judge Williams's car registration. It was completely clean. He spoke with Judge Williams privately. "Your Honor, on behalf of the department, I apologize. This is unacceptable." Now Martinez's story started to fall apart. Martinez claimed she was driving badly, moving between lanes, but the traffic camera showed something different. Judge Williams's car stayed in one lane the whole time. Her speed was steady. Martinez's own camera proved it. He had only followed her for 30 seconds before stopping her. There was no bad driving. Martinez then claimed she matched the description of a burglary suspect. Dispatch checked the records. There were no active descriptions. No burglaries had been reported in Riverside in 6 months. When they asked Martinez to describe the suspect, he couldn't. Judge Williams was 5'4" and 140 pounds. She was wearing a business suit. There was no alert even close to that. Finally, Martinez claimed she was hostile and refused his orders, but all the videos showed something different. Judge Williams was calm the whole time. Her hands were always visible. Her voice was steady. She asked for the legal reason for the stop. That is protected by the Constitution. She stated her Fourth Amendment rights. That's not obstruction. Martinez never gave a good reason for making her get out of the car. At 12:47 a.m., Lieutenant Hayes made his decision. He placed Martinez on immediate leave. He took Martinez's badge and gun right there. "Officer Martinez, you are relieved of duty. There will be a full internal affairs investigation." Hayes ordered Martinez to repo. RT to headquarters at 8:00 a.m. Sergeant Morrison would write a full report. All the footage would be saved. The police captain was called at 12:53 a.m. Martinez tried to defend himself. "Sir, this is a misunderstanding. I was following the rules." "Rules for what violation, officer?" Hayes asked. Martinez got angry. "This is political. She's going to destroy me because..." Hayes cut him off. "You destroyed yourself. Your own camera proves it." Then Martinez got desperate. "I have 9 years on the force. I have a family." "You should have thought about that before you violated someone's rights," Hayes said. Martinez tried one more time. "I've stopped dozens of cars in this neighborhood." "That's exactly what I'm afraid of," Hayes said. "Give me your badge." Judge Williams said she didn't need medical help. She took Lieutenant Hayes's card. The witnesses gave their contact information. Morrison drove behind Judge Williams to make sure she got home safely. They arrived at 12:58 a.m. Judge Williams's husband was waiting. His name was Dr. Robert Williams. He's a surgeon. He was very upset. Their daughter Jessica was home from college. She was 19. She had recorded video from the front yard when she heard what was happening. A community group chat exploded with messages. Word spread fast. By 1:15 a.m., Judge Williams was finally home. She sat at her kitchen table. Her hands were shaking. She opened her laptop. She wasn't just filing a complaint. She was building a federal civil rights case. But she wasn't alone. Someone had already posted the video online. By morning, the entire country would know Officer Derek Martinez's name. If you want to see how this ends, keep watching and hit that subscribe button. At 1:23 a.m., Marcus Chen uploaded his 4-minute video to Twitter. His caption said, "Federal judge racially profiled in her own neighborhood. This is Riverside. This is 2024. By 1:45 a.m., the video had 2,400 views and 89 shares. At 2:30 a.m., Mrs. Patterson's daughter posted her mom's video to a Facebook community group. The group had 14,000 members. At 3:00 a.m., Rebecca Torres put her video on TikTok with the hashtag Judge Williams and racial profiling. By 4:15 a.m., all the videos combined had 47,000 views. At 6:00 a.m., a local group called Justice Now shared the videos. Now there were 180,000 views. At 7:30 a.m., the local news station picked up the story. The headline was "Federal Judge Stopped in Own Neighborhood." By 9:00 a.m., there were 840,000 views. It was trending number 3 on Twitter locally. At noon, CNN and MSNBC started talking about it. By 6:00 p.m., it was the lead story on all local evening news shows. Combined views reached 3.2 million. By 11:59 p.m., exactly 24 hours after the stop, there were 8.7 million views across all platforms. International news was covering it. The numbers were huge. On Twitter, 8.7 million views, 340,000 shares, 890,000 likes. It was trending number 1 nationally. On TikTok, 4.2 million views, 780,000 likes, 12,000 response videos. On Facebook, 2.1 million views, shared 67,000 times. On Instagram, 1.8 million views, 420,000 likes. On YouTube, different uploads got a combined 6.3 million views. On Reddit, it hit the front page of multiple forums. The comments were powerful. A civil rights lawyer with 450,000 followers wrote, "This is textbook racial profiling. The fact she's a federal judge shows this happens to everyone. Imagine what happens to people without her resources." The city mayor wrote, "I've spoken with Judge Williams and the police chief. This is unacceptable. Full investigation underway. There will be consequences." A famous activist with 2.1 million followers wrote, "She's a federal judge in her own neighborhood, in her Mercedes, and he still thought she was a criminal. This is America." A retired judge wrote, "I've worked with Judge Williams for 15 years, one of the best legal minds in the country. This is disgraceful." The local news covered it for 3 days straight. National networks gave it major coverage. CNN did a segment. MSNBC interviewed Judge Williams. Even Fox News covered it with sympathy. Major newspapers put it on the front page. Legal magazines wrote detailed analysis. The police department responded. At 10:00 a.m. on day 1, the chief held a press conference. "We take this seriously. Officer Martinez is on leave. Full investigation underway." On day 2, the department confirmed Internal Affairs was investigating. They said the FBI Civil Rights Division was notified. On day 3, the chief met personally with Judge Williams for 90 minutes. Martinez tried to control the damage. He hired a lawyer from the police union. The lawyer said Martinez had reasonable suspicion and the stop was lawful, but it didn't work. The video proved every claim was false. People dug up Martinez's old social media posts. They found controversial stuff from 2019 to 2022. Martinez deleted his accounts, but it was too late. Screenshots had been saved. His wife posted on Facebook. Defending him, she said Derek wasn't racist because he had black friends. She deleted the post after people got angry. 3 days later, Martinez made his biggest mistake yet. He ignored his lawyer's advice. He gave an interview to a local reporter. He thought he could explain himself. He thought people would understand. He was completely wrong. Let me know in the comments, should cops like this be allowed to give interviews? On October 18, Martinez did an interview with KPTV reporter Sarah Mitchell. Martinez said, "I treat everyone the same. Race had nothing to do with it." When she asked why he assumed the judge was a janitor, he said, "I was just asking a question." When she brought up his race card comment, he said, "That was taken out of context." His final quote made everything worse. If she just cooperated instead of making it about race, none of this would have happened. The interview video went viral again. It got 2.1 million views. Martinez just made everything worse for himself. 10 days after the stop, Internal Affairs released their findings. It was October 25, 2024. 3 detectives investigated. A civilian board watched. The FBI sent someone to observe too. They looked at 6 video recordings. They checked dispatch records. They reviewed Martinez's work file. They looked at all 11 previous complaints again. They studied 2 years of Martinez's traffic stops. Here's what they found. There was no legal reason for the stop. It violated the 4th Amendment. Martinez asked racially unfair questions. He lied in his police report. And here's the big one. They found a pattern. 73% of Martinez's stops were people of color, but the neighborhood was 62% white. On October 30, Judge Williams filed a lawsuit in federal court. The case was called Williams versus Martinez and the City of Riverside Police Department. Her claim said Martinez violated her civil rights. He broke the 4th Amendment with an illegal stop. He broke the 14th Amendment about equal treatment. The state claims said he caused her emotional pain and falsely imprisoned her. She was suing Martinez personally, the city, and the police chief. During the case, they found more evidence. Martinez had made 127 traffic stops in 2 years. 93 involved people of color. The department knew about him. 2 bosses had warned about Martinez in 2022 and 2023. Nothing was done. All 11 complaints over 4 years had been dismissed without investigation. They found text messages. Martinez was in a group chat with 3 other officers. From 2022 to 2024, they had made racially offensive jokes. Training records showed Martinez had skipped required bias training twice. He was never punished for it. The FBI opened a criminal investigation in November 2024. A grand jury met in December. On January 8, 2025, criminal charges were filed. The charges said Martinez took away someone's rights while acting as a police officer. Another charge said he made false statements in his police report. He could get up to 10 years in federal prison. The civil case settled in March 2025. The total was $680,000. Here's how it broke down. Judge Williams got $375,000 for pain and suffering. Punitive damages, which are meant to punish, totaled $125,000. Martinez had to pay that himself. Lawyer fees and costs were $180,000. The city insurance and Martinez paid it all. The city didn't admit they did anything wrong. That's normal in settlements, but here's the amazing part. Judge Williams donated her entire $375,000 to a legal aid group. The group helps victims of police misconduct who can't afford lawyers. On November 15, 2024, Martinez was fired from the police department. There was a hearing. Everyone voted to fire him. In December, the state suspended his police license. In January 2025, they took it away forever. Martinez can never work as a cop in any state again. He filed for bankruptcy in May 2025. He lost his house. His wife filed for divorce in March 2025. In April 2025, Martinez made a deal. He pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of taking away someone's rights. In June 2025, he was sentenced. He got 18 months in federal prison. After that, 2 years of supervised release. He had to pay a $15,000 fine. He had to do 200 hours of community service teaching about police accountability. He had to go to counseling for bias and anger. The department faced consequences too. 3 supervisors who dismissed the old complaints were punished. They lost their ranks. The police chief quit in January 2025. The whole department was put under FBI watch for 2 years. In March 2025, Judge Williams held a press conference after the settlement. She said, "This was never about money. It's about holding people accountable. It's about stopping this from happening to the next person who doesn't have my resources, my platform, or my legal knowledge." She didn't celebrate Martinez going to prison. I take no joy in anyone going to prison, but consequences matter. At his sentencing in June 2025, Martinez read an apology. "I'm sorry for my actions. I've had time to think about my biases. I'm committed to growing." But the apology felt fake. He talked more about how his career was ruined than about how he hurt Judge Williams. Judge Williams was there, but she didn't give a victim statement. She just said, "The evidence speaks for itself." By summer 2025, Derek Martinez was inmate number 47,283 at Federal Prison Sheridan. His career was over. His marriage was over. His reputation destroyed. But the story didn't end there. Judge Williams wasn't finished. She was going to use her voice to change the whole system. Wait until you hear what she did next. On April 15, 2025, 6 months after the stop, Judge Williams held a press conference. It was at the federal courthouse. The media was there. Civil rights groups came. Community leaders attended. Judge Williams wasn't speaking as a judge. She was speaking as a victim and an advocate. "For 18 years, I've handled cases just like mine," she began. "I've read transcripts. I've watched body camera videos. I've heard victims describe the fear, the shame, the violation of being stopped for no reason except the color of their skin. But it's different when it happens to you, when you're 2 blocks from your own home, when an officer looks at you and sees only suspicion. When you realize that your law degree, your position as a federal judge, your 20 years in the justice system, none of it matters in that moment." Her voice broke. "I was terrified. I know the law, I know my rights, and I was still terrified, because I also know how these stops can end." She continued, "I had every advantage. I knew to keep my hands where he could see them. I knew to stay calm. I knew the law perfectly. I had resources, a good salary, savings, access to the best lawyers in the country, But think about the retail worker pulled over on their way home from a late shift, the delivery driver, the teenager, the people who come through my courtroom seeking justice because they had the same thing happen to them, except they couldn't afford a lawyer. They didn't know a federal judge. They didn't have video that went viral. What happened to me happens every single day. The only difference is that when it happened to me, people paid attention. She had a message for victims. If you've been through this, I want you to know something. You didn't deserve it. Your fear was real. Your anger is fair. You have rights, even when the person with power tells you that you don't. Write everything down. Record if you can. Get witness names. File complaints even when they tell you nothing will happen. Because maybe, slowly, with enough of us demanding better, something will change. She ended with this: I'm a federal judge, I sentence people, I interpret the Constitution, I have enormous power in my courtroom. But on October 15, 2024 at 11:47 p.m., I was just another black woman driving home, and that should worry all of us. Because if it can happen to me with all my privilege, all my power, all my knowledge, then it can happen to anyone. And it does, every single day. This case isn't special because of what happened. It's special because there were consequences, and that shouldn't be special, that should be normal. Judge Williams's case showed a bigger problem. Research shows black drivers are 20% more likely to be pulled over than white drivers in similar areas. When no ticket is given, black drivers are stopped at 2.5 times the rate. 67% of black Americans say they've been stopped without clear cause at least once. Only 11% of complaints against officers result in any punishment. Officers like Martinez, who have multiple complaints but no consequences, make up only 10% of police, but they account for 40% of excessive force incidents and civil rights complaints. Judge Williams got justice because she had resources, documentation, attention, knowledge, credibility, and support. Most victims have none of those things, and that's exactly the problem. But here's something positive. After this case, 12 other police departments in the state made similar changes. The state passed a new law requiring police to report stop data by race publicly. Real change was starting to happen. So let me ask you, do we really believe the only reason Judge Williams got justice is because she's a federal judge? That if she'd been a nurse, a teacher, or store clerk, would Derek Martinez be in prison? Would there have been an investigation? Would anyone have cared? Do we accept a system where officers like Martinez can get 11 complaints over 4 years and face 0 consequences until they violate someone with enough power to fight back? Do we live in a country where a black woman can drive home from work in her own neighborhood without being questioned about whether she belongs there? Because if we don't demand real change, if we don't end the protections that shield bad cops, if we don't create real consequences for officers who abuse their power, then we're just waiting for the next Derek Martinez, the next Judge Williams, the next viral video that we'll all watch and share and forget about in a week. Comment below if you believe bad cops should lose their protection from lawsuits. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these stories. We're going to keep demanding better. We're going to keep fighting for a justice system that works for everyone, not just federal judges. This isn't just about one racist cop or one federal judge. It's about all of us and the system we allow to continue. See you in the next one.